Welcome to NewsTrack YouTube channel. In today's video, we share the latest updates on celebrities who sadly passed away today. We remember their lives, achievements, and the impact they had on fans around the world. Our thoughts go out to their families and loved ones during this difficult time. Stay updated with real-time news on celebrity deaths and tributes from the entertainment industry. Lar Park Lincoln. Lar Park Lincoln dies at 63. Lar Park Lincoln, an actress known for her work in Friday the 13th Part 7, the new blood and soap opera Knots Landing, has died at 63. Actors Audition Studios, a company she founded, announced on Facebook that Lincoln died on Tuesday, April 22nd. She battled breast cancer, according to The Hollywood Reporter. A cause of death was not announced. In its statement on Thursday, Lincoln's company wrote that the actress and audition coach left an unforgettable mark on Hollywood through her dynamic performances and dedication to mentoring aspiring actors throughout her 45-year career. Born in Dallas in 1961, Lincoln's earliest roles included the 1985 TV film Children of the Night and multiple TV series, including Outlaws and Hunter. From there, she found success portraying teenager Tina Shepard on The New Blood, which marked the 7th installment in the popular Friday the 13th franchise. The character, who had telekinetic abilities, ended up coming face-to-face with Jason Voorhees in the film, but it wasn't her only stab at the slasher genre. She also notably appeared in the horror television series Freddy's Nightmares for a 1988 episode. Jennifer Banco, who appeared in the Friday the 13th film with Lincoln, shared a tribute to Instagram on Thursday. "Thank you for being so kind to me as a child on the set of my first movie," she wrote. "It has been an honor to play you younger. I'm saddened that you won't be sitting next to me at Crypticon KC this year. I was really looking forward to putting my arms around you. Forever, our Scream Queen. Forever, our Tina Shepard." In CBS Knots Landing, which Lincoln joined in 1987, the actress took on the role of Karen Fairgate's daughter-in-law, Linda, for the show's 9th season. David Thomas. David Thomas dies at 71. David Thomas, the irreverent experimental musician who led the influential band Pere Ubu, died April 23rd after a long illness. He was 71. The MC5 was playing on the radio at the time of his passing, reports Pere Ubu's official Facebook page. Formed in Cleveland, Ohio in 1975, Pere Ubu was defiantly original, embodying the industrial decay and hardscrabble ethics of its hometown by combining primitive synthesizers, skronking saxophone, scraping guitars, and ominous arrangements. Thomas tied together the band's sound with uncompromising vocals that exuded steely menace and unfettered anguish. "It's underground," wrote the legendary music critic Jane Scott, introducing Pere Ubu in a December 1975 Cleveland Plain Dealer article. "They may never be accepted by the general public. They don't care. But Pere Ubu had an enormous influence on the burgeoning late 1970s post-punk and no-wave movements, courtesy of legendary singles, the 1975 debut 30 Seconds Over Tokyo, and the following year's ominous Final Solution, and a pair of 1978 LPs, The Modern Dance and Dub Housing." Thomas, who was Pere Ubu's only constant member, maintained this uncompromising attitude for his entire career, even during a brief period in the late 1980s, when Pere Ubu flirted with the alternative rock mainstream thanks to singles like Waiting for Mary from 1989's Cloudland. Over time, Pere Ubu's imprint was heard on countless bands that resisted categorization, to name a few: Wire, Mission of Burma, Joy Division, Sonic Youth, Pixies, 9 Inch Nails, and Mr. Bungle. Thomas was born in Miami but grew up in Cleveland Heights, a suburb located just east of Cleveland. Waltraud Haas. Waltraud Haas dies at 97. Waltraud Haas brought joy to generations through her iconic film roles and warm personality. Waltraud Haas, the beloved Austrian actress known for her iconic roles in post-war cinema, passed away in Vienna on Wednesday, April 23, 2025, at the age of 97. Her family released a heartfelt statement expressing gratitude for her long life and the joy she brought to countless people, noting that she remained in relatively good physical condition until her final days. Born on June 9, 1927, in Vienna, Haas became a household name in Austria, captivating audiences with her performances in films such as Der Hofrat Geiger, Mariandel, I Am Weissen Rossel, and Hallo Dienstmann. Her family shared their sorrow, stating, "Despite all the endless sadness, we are grateful that she had such a long life, could bring joy to so many people, and was in relatively good physical condition until the end. The family has requested privacy during this difficult time, and her farewell will take place in the closest family circle." Johanna Michel-Leitner, the governor of Lower Austria, paid tribute to Haas, calling her not only an icon of Austrian film, but also a person full of joie de vivre, warmth, and humility. Generations of Austrians admired her for her acting skills and her lovable and unique charisma, whether as Mariandel or later as the Grand Dame of the theater, she remarked. Haas's journey to stardom was not without challenges. Initially, at her mother's insistence, she attended a household school before pursuing her passion for acting. She graduated from the Conservatory of Dramatic Arts in Vienna and took private acting lessons from Julia Janssen, a prominent actress at the Burgtheater. Chris Cowenbergs dies at 78. Flemish, Brussels morning newspaper. Flemish actor Chris Cowenbergs reached the age of 78 before he died. Cowenbergs is best known to the general public as Kabouter Louis in the Studio 100 series Kabouter Plop. He also played Fernand Verbeest in Thuis for many years. Actor Christopher Cowenbergs established his fame by playing Kabouter Louis in Kabouter Plop and Fernand Verbeest in Thuis while he was born in Hemexem in 1947. The training in drama at the Royal Conservatory of Brussels led him to his initial television work for BRT through roles in Merlina and Post Bus X. His career made a major leap in the mid-1990s when he portrayed the police officer Fernand Verbeest in the popular Flemish television show Thuis, 1995 to 2000, until the writers killed his character in a narrative murder plot. His career expanded at Studio 100 when he gained fame as Louis the Tired Hobgoblin, who starred in shows, movies, and theatrical productions starting in 1997. The cancer diagnosis Cowenbergs received in 2014 required him to stop performing live because of his lymph node cancer. When news emerged in 2015 about his recovery from chemotherapy treatment, Cowenbergs chose to stay away from the Louis character. What is the history of Flemish television where Chris Cowenbergs worked? The public broadcasting service BRT launched Flemish television in 1953, which later became VRT after serving Dutch-speaking Belgium. The commercial VTM television channel was developed in the 1980s and 1990s to challenge the dominance of VRT. VTM gained a 27% audience share upon launching in 1989, which expanded to 37% by 1993. And VRT experienced a consistent market share of approximately 25% throughout all 3 years. Peter McKeon. Men at Work producer Peter McKeon has died. Men at Work frontman Colin Hay posted, "I just found out that Peter McKeon, who produced Men at Work's Business as Usual and Cargo albums, recently passed away. He was a very warm, intelligent, and talented man. We were very close some 40-odd years ago. He helped us arrange all those songs and was able to sonically articulate what we were endeavoring to offer the world. We saw each other sporadically over the years. I wish I'd seen him more." Business as Usual was the first Australian album to chart at #1 in the USA and UK simultaneously. McKeon's production delivered the Men at Work hits Who Can It Be Now, Down Under, Be Good Johnny, Dr. Heckle and Mr. Jive, Overkill, and It's a Mistake. Peter also produced the Mondo rock album Nuovo Mondo, featuring the original version of A Touch of Paradise, later covered by John Farnham. Aussie band Dear Enemy's soul album Ransom Note, 1984, was also a Peter McKeon production. Peter was named Producer of the Year by Cashbox in 1982. As a songwriter, Peter co-wrote Pat Benatar's Looking for a Stranger, 1982, Clear Sailing, recorded by Barbra Streisand, 1984. McKeon recorded his own version of Clear Sailing on his own album, Playing Near the Edge, in 1980. Yaroslav Moskalik. Trump envoy meets Putin hours after Moscow killing of Russian general. Donald Trump's envoy Steve Witkoff has met Vladimir Putin in the Kremlin for high-stakes peace talks, hours after a senior Russian military official was killed in a car explosion near Moscow. Trump has played up Witkoff's visit, his fourth to Russia in recent months, claiming a deal on ending the war in Ukraine was within reach. The next few days are going to be very important. Meetings are taking place right now, Trump told reporters on Thursday. I think we're going to make a deal. I think we're getting very close. But no apparent breakthrough was reached on Friday. Putin's senior aide, Yuri Ushakov, who was present at the talks, said the discussions were, quote, constructive and quite useful, and noted that the two sides had, quote, narrowed differences. In comments to journalists, Ushakov said the possibility of resuming direct negotiations between Russia and Ukraine had also been discussed. Putin's spokesperson, Dmitry Peskov, said Witkoff had left Moscow carrying a message for Trump. There was no immediate comment from Witkoff on the outcome of the meeting. At the start of the talks, the Kremlin published a short clip showing Putin and Witkoff, who holds no formal diplomatic credentials, shaking hands and exchanging pleasantries in the Kremlin before sitting down on opposite sides of a white oval table to start their meeting behind closed doors. Putin was flanked in the meeting by Ushakov and his investment envoy Kirill Dmitriev. 3 hours later, Witkoff's car was seen leaving the Kremlin. Although Trump has repeatedly claimed he was close to ending the war, now in its fourth year. Robert De Niro. Greatest Robert De Niro film on one streaming service but not Netflix or Amazon. A Robert De Niro film that scored higher than Goodfellas and The Godfather Part 2 on Rotten Tomatoes is a must-watch for sci-fi fans. The dystopian tale scored an impressive 98% on Rotten Tomatoes Tomatometer, a score system based on reviews by professional critics. The 55 stellar reviews of Brazil compare with a 96% score for The Godfather, Part 2, which is based on 129 reviews, and 94% for Goodfellas with 166 ratings. The 1985 dark comedy directed by Terry Gilliam is set in a bureaucratic future where Robert De Niro plays Harry Tuttle, a wanted terrorist. He becomes the subject of an investigation by a bored government worker, Sam Lowry, who discovers that a mistaken identity led to the wrongful arrest and eventual death of an innocent man. Sam, who attempts to escape the monotony of his day-to-day life through a recurring daydream where he saves a beautiful damsel, then gets drawn into a nightmarish web of conspiracies and surveillance after meeting the woman in real life. One critic wrote, "Gilliam crams the screen with such a proliferation of bizarre and comic details that you'll want to revisit this particular nightmare again and again." Another De Niro epic, The Godfather Part 2, also received rave reviews on the platform. One critic commented, "If I consider The Godfather Part 2 a formidable film, it's because it's the perfect complement to the first, even when the latter apparently didn't need it." Meanwhile, De Niro was hailed for his starring role in Goodfellas, which follows a poor Irish Italian who grew up in 1950s New York City and rises through the ranks of an organized crime branch. Steve Kiner. Steve Kiner dies at 77. Former Hillsborough High multi-sport star Steve Kiner, who at the University of Tennessee evolved into arguably the greatest college football player ever produced by a Bay Area school, has died at age 77. UT confirmed Kiner's death in a news release Thursday, with no cause of death given. In December 2023, the Tampa Bay Times ranked Kiner as the second greatest collegian to hail from an area school, behind only 2023 Heisman runner-up Michael Penix Jr., Pasco, Tampa Bay Tech. A 1966 Hillsborough alumnus, Kiner spent his inaugural season in Knoxville on the Volunteers freshman team, but was named SEC Sophomore of the Year the following season. A linebacker whose soft hands, 5 interceptions as a senior in 1969, belied his ability to dislodge molars with the force of his shoulder pads, he earned first-team All-America honors each of his final 2 seasons. He particularly shined as a senior in 1969 when he led the Vols to their second SEC crown in 3 years and finished 9th in the Heisman voting. In a 10-9 victory over Alabama in mid-October, Kiner recorded 14 tackles, including 11 solos and 5 for loss, an interception and a forced fumble. He was taken by the Cowboys with the number 73 overall pick in the third round of the 1970 NFL Draft and played 9 seasons in the league with Dallas, New England, Washington, and Houston. He was selected to the Tennessee Sports Hall of Fame in 1998 and the College Football Hall of Fame in 1999. In 1994, he earned his doctorate in clinical psychology and starting a practice in mental health therapy in Georgia, according to the Knoxville News-Sentinel. Rob Holland. Famed stunt pilot Rob Holland dies in crash days before airshow performance. A veteran aerobatic pilot and airshow performer was killed in a plane crash at Virginia's Langley Air Force Base, according to authorities and the victim's social media account. The incident occurred on Thursday, April 24th. The Federal Aviation Administration (FAA) said in an email to People. An MX aircraft MXS crashed while the pilot was attempting to land at Langley Air Force Base in Virginia around 11:50 a.m. local time, the FAA said, based on preliminary information. Only the pilot was aboard the aircraft at the time, the agency said, adding that the National Transportation Safety Board (NTSB) will lead the investigation into the crash. A statement from the NTSB shared with People said, based on initial information, that the plane crashed on approach to the Langley Air Force Base under unknown circumstances. The FAA and the NTSB did not identify the victim, but a statement posted by Rob Holland Aerosports on Facebook confirmed Holland as the pilot. It is with the heaviest of hearts that I am sharing that Rob Holland lost his life today, the 24th of April 2025, in an accident at Langley AFB-VA, they said. Rob was one of the most respected and inspiring aerobatic pilots in aviation history, their statement later added. Even with an absolutely impressive list of accomplishments, both in classical competition aerobatics and within the airshow world, Rob was the most humble person with a singular goal to simply be better than he was yesterday. According to FAA records, the aircraft was registered to Rob Holland Ultimate Airshows, LLC. Steve McMichael. Steve McMichael dies at 67. Steve McMichael, former Chicago Bears defensive tackle and NFL Hall of Famer, has passed away at the age of 67, following a courageous battle with amyotrophic lateral sclerosis, ALS. He died on Thursday at Lightways Hospice in suburban Joliet, Illinois, surrounded by loved ones. With deep sorrow, I share that Steve McMichael passed at 5:28 p.m. after a brave fight with ALS, surrounded by loved ones. I am grateful to have been with him in his final moments. Please keep Steve and his family in your prayers, read a statement from his publicist, Betsy Shepard. The news was confirmed on social media by WGN's Jarrett Payton. Nicknamed Mongo and Ming the Merciless, McMichael was diagnosed with ALS in January 2021 and had been battling the disease ever since. Born on October 17, 1957 in Houston, Texas, McMichael spent 13 seasons with the Chicago Bears, becoming one of the most dominant defensive players in franchise history. He recorded 92.5 of his 95 career sacks with the Bears, the second highest total in the team's history. After his time in Chicago, McMichael signed a one-year deal with the Green Bay Packers in 1994 and retired following that season. For 13 years, I helped the Bears beat the Packers every year, McMichael told the American newspaper in 2019. I whipped their A*S, right? So the last year, I went up there on my last leg and I wasn't any good anymore. So I stole their money and whipped their A*S again. Steve McMichael was officially inducted into the Pro Football Hall of Fame on August 3, 2024, in Canton, Ohio. After retiring from the NFL, he transitioned into professional wrestling, where he served from 1995 to 1999. Brad Pitt. Brad Pitt proposes to Ines de Ramon after 2 years of dating. Brad Pitt is reportedly ready to begin a new chapter in his personal life after proposing to his girlfriend, jewelry designer Ines de Ramon, according to Radar Online. The 61-year-old actor popped the question to the 32-year-old designer just before departing for a 6-week film shoot in New Zealand. Sources close to the couple revealed that Pitt is feeling free of the past, particularly after his lengthy and public divorce from Angelina Jolie, and is eager to commit to de Ramon despite the distance his career often creates. The proposal marks a significant milestone in their relationship, which has been steadily growing since they made it official in November 2022. Brad has reportedly been showering Ines with affection, going as far as flying her out to his movie set to ensure she feels his love and support. An insider shared that Brad appreciates Inez's loyalty, particularly through the difficulties of his highly public divorce, and he values her continued presence in his life. This engagement would be Brad Pitt's third, following his previous marriages to Jennifer Aniston and Angelina Jolie. He married Aniston in 2000, but the couple divorced in 2005. Shortly after, he began his high-profile relationship with Jolie, culminating in their marriage in 2014. However, their union ended in 2016 after a lengthy legal battle, with the divorce finalized on December 30, 2024, after an 8-year process.